entitled Army Wife tried to use her husband's rank on a waitress to get a discount. But the Major General was watching. So this isn't my story, but from one of my friends. This happened a long time ago, and names or some details have been changed to protect the innocent. My friend, who I'll call Lucy, lives in a town with a pretty good-sized army base. To make some money between semesters of college, Lucy took a summer job as a waitress at a local restaurant popular with officers and their families. Lucy is liked as a waitress, to the point that patrons will ask to be seated in her section. But you're not here for that story, are you? You're here for the entitled people. And oh boy, did Karen not disappoint. It was a Friday evening, so the restaurant was packed. There was at least an hour wait, the kitchen was busy, and Lucy and her coworkers were on their toes. Fortunately, most customers were regulars, so they were patient, leaving nice tips and paying compliments to the wait staff and owner. Enter Karen. Karen, who Lucy had never seen before, was seated in Lucy's section and began the usual tirades. She complained about the wait, sent her pasta dish back 3 times because it wasn't cooked just right, and her husband's rank was name-dropped repeatedly. Lucy, easily the most patient and kind-hearted person I've ever met, was getting frustrated. Then the bombshell dropped. Like most places in this town, the restaurant offers a military discount. However, because this discount had been abused in the past, people wanting the discount must show their military ID to qualify. There are signs posted on the doors and in the menu stating this, and most patrons understand the rule. But as you can guess, Karen was not one of those people. At the time of paying the check, Karen asked for the military discount. Lucy, polite as ever, asked Karen for her military ID. Karen snapped, "What did you say?" Lucy calmly repeated her request for the military ID. Karen responded, "Don't you know who I am?" Lucy explained company rules required showing the ID. Karen accused Lucy of calling her a liar. Lucy denied this, but insisted the ID was necessary for the discount. Karen then boasted, "My husband is Kyle, married to a B-word. He's a second lieutenant at the army base, and he knows people." Lucy tried to keep her cool, but she told me she wanted to cry. Karen continued, "I know people. I can make sure you never get a job in this town again. You're so stupid. You're probably some college dropout who will never amount to anything." By this point, everyone in the restaurant was silent, and even the owner was coming over. An older woman from another section, who Lucy had never seen before either, got up and came over. This woman, who I'll call Belle, tapped Karen on the shoulder. Karen stopped her tirade, whipped around with a face turning 50 shades of red and purple, and stared Belle down. Karen snapped, "What do you want?" Belle, calm, said, "You're going to apologize to this young lady, pay in full, and leave a generous tip." Karen demanded, "Who the heck are you?" Belle replied, "Someone who can make things very difficult for your husband." Karen said, "I don't have to stand for this," and grabbed her purse. She threatened to tell everyone how much the place sucks, so nobody would come anymore. Karen stormed off, pushing the owner hard enough for him to fall to the ground, then left. According to Lucy, it was so silent afterward you could hear a pin drop for at least a minute. Belle helped the owner to his feet, made sure he was okay, then turned to Lucy. Belle asked, "Are you okay?" Lucy, still shaken, said, "Thank you, I'm okay." Belle apologized on behalf of the base, saying the behavior was completely uncalled for. She then offered to compensate the owner for the meal and tip as an apology. The owner said there was no need, but Belle insisted. Belle returned to her seat and the night continued. Later, Belle and her husband came by to check on Lucy before leaving, promising to come back for dinner the next Friday. It wasn't until Monday afternoon, when Kyle went to the restaurant to apologize, that Lucy learned what had gone down. It turned out Belle was the Major General who had just been posted to the base. That morning, Belle had summoned Kyle to her office for a little chat. Because it happened off base, Kyle was mortified and offered to reimburse Belle for the check and tip. He didn't get into trouble, but was warned that Karen's behavior could make things difficult for his career. Kyle made sure Karen got a verbal, torn up one side and down the other, on the phone. In this town, gossip spreads faster than the flu. Karen never darkened the door of the restaurant again, but the rest of the town made sure Karen knew she wasn't welcome. Belle kept her word and showed up every Friday evening for dinner with her husband. According to Lucy, Belle was a classy lady. And even if she didn't sit in Lucy's section, she'd make sure to say hello and leave a nice tip. TLDR, Karen tried to pull her husband's rank on a waitress, which almost derailed his career.